Hello, Roland Warren here. In 1982, there was a popular off-Broadway musical called Little Shop of Horrors that presented an entertaining and accurate allegory about the consequences of not dealing properly and promptly with temptations to do evil. To summarize, a hapless flower shop salesman named Seymour finds an exotic plant that lives off human blood. Since the plant has made Seymour a celebrity and given him a chance to win Audrey, the woman of his dreams, he obediently feeds the plant his own blood. But eventually, the plant demands more and more from Seymour. First, he feeds Audrey's boyfriend to the plant. Then, responding to the plant's demands of "feed me," Seymour murders the flower shop owner and feeds him to the plant too. Eventually, Audrey and even Seymour are consumed by the plant. There's an old saying about the difference between a habit and an addiction. A habit is something that you have. An addiction is something that has you. As Seymour learned, big addictions always start as small habits, but they always lead to one's destruction and death. As I considered Seymour's sad tale, I was reminded of news reports about Matt Laurer, Harvey Weinstein, and a cast of other notables who have fallen as a result of sexual harassment and/or sexual assault claims in the past few months. No doubt their habits started small, but eventually grew so powerful that they consumed them and the people and things that mattered most to them. That said, it's pretty easy to consume the salacious details that the press serves up daily. But a better course is to remember that although the wise learn from their mistakes, the wisest learn from the mistakes of others, and there are lessons aplenty here. For starters, there are key things we must learn about how to handle temptation to do evil. You see, every choice that we make is preceded by two things: looking, which is to direct your attention or consideration to something, and longing, which is a strong, persistent desire to get what you're looking at. Temptation seeks to control our looking and longing in a way that leads us to succumb and to ultimately sin. When we are tempted, we come to a decision point, and it seems intuitive that we should ask ourselves if it's right to do what we're tempted to do. However, this is the wrong question to ask. The better question is, who do you love? Why? Because how you answer that question will determine the path you choose and the consequences you may face. For example, if you say that you love yourself above all others to the point that your needs and wants are your sole concern, it will be very easy for you to use and abuse others for your pleasure. In fact, like Seymour, you'll become dangerously deceived, self-centered, and ultimately will be so consumed by lust to please yourself that you will destroy yourself and all that you hold dear. In contrast, from a Christian perspective, we are challenged to answer the "who do you love" question very differently. For example, when Jesus was asked what the greatest commandment was, he responded to first love God with all our heart, mind, and soul, and then to love our neighbors as ourselves. You see, both of these loves are other-centered. In short, the diagram on your screen clearly lays out the two paths that flow from our looking and longing when they are framed by temptation. When we love God and obey the immutable and unchanging command to love our neighbor as ourselves, we are on a life-giving path. In contrast, when we succumb to the evil temptations that yell "feed me" and are consumed by lust, we eventually lose and are destined to face a not-so-little shop of horrors of our own making. Unfortunately, this is the path that news reports suggest Matt Laurer took often, and it led to predictable negative consequences. That said, before we cast too many stones at the career corpse of Matt Laurer, we should be sobered by the fact that there, but by the grace of God, go any of us. As Scripture says, no temptation to do evil of any kind will seize us, except what is common to mankind. And if we don't take the right path, the way out, early and often, we will surely be devoured too. Until next time, may God bless you daily as you serve Him faithfully.